Imagine this, a woman stands in the pouring rain, her heart shattering like the thunder cracking overhead. She's clutching a faded photograph, tears mixing with the downpour on her face. The man she's finally found after 18 long years steps forward, his voice breaking as he whispers, "I'm sorry. I never meant to leave you like that." But wait, who is this man? And why does giving him a simple ride home change everything? Hold on tight, because this story starts at the end. And it's going to pull at your heartstrings like nothing else. But right now, as she reaches out to hug him, a shocking secret from his past explodes into the moment. Could this reunion destroy them before it even begins? Stick around, because what happens next will leave you breathless. That was the heart-wrenching climax we've all been building toward, but to understand the full weight of that embrace, we have to go back to where it all began. Picture a stormy night in a small, forgotten town on the outskirts of Rahim Yar Khan, Pakistan. The kind of rain that doesn't just fall, it hammers, turning roads into rivers and skies into a relentless gray fury. It's the monsoon season, when the world feels like it's weeping for reasons no one can explain. And in the middle of it all is Elena Khan, a 38-year-old single mom who's been fighting battles most people couldn't imagine. Elena wasn't always alone like this. She grew up in a modest home in Rahim Yar Khan, the daughter of a schoolteacher father and a homemaker mother who filled their lives with stories and songs. Life was simple but full of love until she met Ahmed at 19. He was charming, with eyes that sparkled like the Indus River under the sun, and dreams bigger than the Punjab plains. They married young, against her parents' mild protests, and for a few blissful years, it was paradise. Elena worked as a seamstress, stitching clothes for neighbors, while Ahmed pursued his passion for engineering, sketching blueprints late into the night. Then came their daughter, Aisha, tiny, perfect, with her father's smile and her mother's fierce spirit. Elena thought she'd found her forever. But forever has a way of crumbling. Ahmed vanished one night when Aisha was just a baby. No note, no goodbye, just gone. Rumors swirled, debt collectors, a secret affair, maybe even something darker. Elena searched everywhere, her heart breaking with every dead end. She raised Aisha alone, juggling odd jobs, facing judgmental whispers from the community. How could she let her husband leave, they'd say behind her back. But Elena never gave up hope. Deep down, she believed Ahmed was out there, searching for them too. Every night, she'd tuck Aisha into bed and whisper, "One day, we'll find him, Beta. And everything will be whole again." Fast forward 18 years. Aisha is now a bright-eyed teenager, 17 years old, with dreams of becoming a doctor. She's the light of Elena's life, but raising her hasn't been easy. Elena's sewing business barely keeps the roof over their heads, a small, weathered house on the edge of town, where the walls echo with memories. Bills pile up like the monsoon mud, school fees for Aisha, medical costs after Elena's bout with a lingering illness last year, and the constant threat of eviction. Elena's hands, once soft, are now calloused from endless needlework. She's strong, oh so strong, but lately, the weight feels heavier. Loneliness creeps in during quiet moments, and she started wondering if her search for Ahmed is just a fool's errand, holding her back from moving on. It's a Tuesday evening, and the rain is biblical. Elena's just finished a long day at the market, her old Suzuki van loaded with fabric scraps. She's driving home slowly, wipers slashing futilely against the torrent. The roads are deserted, slick and dangerous. Up ahead, she spots a figure huddled under a flimsy umbrella at a bus stop that's more puddle than shelter. He's a man, middle-aged, soaked to the bone, looking utterly defeated. Something tugs at Elena's heart. Maybe it's the mom in her, always helping strays, or maybe it's the memory of her own hardships. Without thinking twice, she pulls over. "Hey! You need a ride?" "This rain's no joke," she calls out, rolling down the window just enough to be heard over the roar. The man looks up, surprise flickering in his tired eyes. He's got salt and pepper hair, a weathered face lined with stories, and clothes that speak of better days, a faded jacket over a simple shower camise. I wouldn't want to impose, ma'am, he says, his voice gravelly, like he hasn't spoken to anyone in days. Nonsense. Get in before you catch your death. Where to? Elena insists, her warm smile cutting through the storm. He hesitates, then nods gratefully and climbs into the passenger seat. Water drips from him onto the floor mat. Just to the old mill on the edge of town. Thank you, truly. As they drive off, the rain pounding the roof like a drum, Elena glances at him. There's something familiar about his profile, but she shakes it off. Strangers in the rain, it's just kindness, nothing more. They chat lightly to pass the time. His name is Reza, he says. He's a traveler, down on his luck, looking for work after losing his job in Lahore. Elena shares a bit about herself, her sewing, her daughter. Life's tough, but you keep going, right? For the ones you love. Reza nods, his eyes distant. Yes, for the ones you love. I've spent years regretting the ones I left behind. The drive is short but feels longer in the downpour. As they near the mill, a rundown place that's seen better days, Reza turns to her. You're a good person, sister. In this world, that's rare. He reaches into his pocket and pulls out a small, worn locket. This was my mother's. Take it, as thanks. Elena protests, but he insists, pressing it into her hand before stepping out into the rain. She watches him disappear into the shadows, the locket heavy in her palm. Inside, there's a tiny photo of a young couple. It looks familiar. But the rain blurs everything, and she drives home, shaken but dismissing it as coincidence. That night, as Elena dries off and tucks Aisha into bed, she examines the locket under the dim bulb. The photo, it's old, faded, but the man's face, oh God. It's Ahmed. Her Ahmed, younger, smiling with a woman who must be his mother. Her heart races. Could Reza be connected? No, impossible. But sleep evades her. The next morning, she tells Aisha about the stranger, showing her the locket. Aisha's eyes widen. Mama, that looks like the man in your old pictures. The one you say is my father? Elena freezes. She's never shown Aisha the full extent of her search, but the girl has pieced it together over the years. It's nothing, Beta. Just a gift. But inside, doubt gnaws. She decides to investigate. After dropping Aisha at school, Elena drives to the mill. It's abandoned, weeds choking the entrance. No sign of Reza. Disappointed, she heads to the local tea stall, asking around. Seen a man named Reza? Middle-aged, traveler? The old chaiwala scratches his beard. He came through yesterday. Said he was heading to the city, but, wait, he left this. He hands her a scrap of paper with an address in Lahore. Cliffhanger alert, as Elena reads it, her phone buzzes, a message from an unknown number. If you're reading this, stop searching. Some truths are better buried. Who sent it? And why does it feel like a warning from the past? Shaken, Elena pockets the note and drives home, her mind swirling. That evening, as she sews by lamplight, Aisha bursts in with news. Mama, I found something online. I searched the name Reza and that locket description. Look. On her phone, there's a forum post from years ago, a man named Reza Ahmed, presumed missing after a family tragedy. Ahmed? Elena's blood runs cold. Could this stranger be her long-lost husband, changed by time and hardship? But why the different name? And that threatening message, who knows she's searching? The days blur into a whirlwind of emotion. Elena's challenges mount. At work, Her best client cancels orders due to the economy, leaving her short on rent. Aisha comes home crying, bullied at school for being from a broken home. Elena holds her tight, whispering encouragements, but inside, she's crumbling. Why did he leave us, Mama? Was it our fault? Aisha sobs. Elena fights back tears. No, Beta. Never. Sometimes people get lost, but we find our way. That night, alone, she pores over old photos, the locket clutched in her fist. Memories flood back, Ahmed's laughter during their wedding, the way he'd trace her hand while dreaming of their future. The pain of his absence hits like a fresh wound. She's searched for 18 years, private investigators, letters to relatives, even a trip to Lahore once, draining her savings. Each dead end chipped away at her hope, leaving her a shell. But now, this lead, it's terrifying and exhilarating. Determined, Elena decides to go to Lahore. She scrapes together bus fare, tells Aisha it's a work trip, and boards the rickety coach the next dawn. The journey is grueling, hours of bumpy roads, her mind racing with what-ifs. What if Reza is Ahmed? What if he's not? What if he rejects them? Lahore greets her with its chaotic bustle, a far cry from quiet Rahim Yar Khan. She navigates the crowded streets to the address, a modest apartment in an old neighborhood. Heart pounding, she knocks. No answer. She waits, then knocks again. Finally, the door creaks open, and there he is, Reza, looking startled. You, the woman from the rain? Elena, she says, voice trembling. And you're Ahmed, aren't you? His face drains of color. He stammers, invites her in. The apartment is sparse, a single bed, sketches on the walls, blueprints, just like old times. Over chai, the truth unravels slowly, emotionally. Reza, no, Ahmed, confesses. He didn't leave willingly. 18 years ago, he was entangled in a shady business deal, borrowing money from the wrong people to fund his engineering dreams. When debts mounted, threats came. One night, goons broke in, beat him badly, and left him for dead. He woke in a hospital under a false name, amnesia clouding his past. Doctors called him Reza, a John Doe. As memories trickled back, fear kept him hidden. He thought Elena and the baby were safer without him, targeted by his enemies. I searched for you too, he whispers, tears streaming. But I was too ashamed, too broken. I wandered, took odd jobs, always one step behind. Elena's heart aches with a mix of relief and rage. You left us to fend alone. Aisha grew up without a father, thinking you abandoned us. She sobs, the years of pain pouring out. Ahmed reaches for her hand, but she pulls away. The emotional depth here is raw, they talk for hours, reliving joys and sorrows. He shows her scars from that night, faded letters he'd written but never sent. It's relatable, isn't it? We've all faced abandonment, regret, the fear of vulnerability. Elena sees the man she loved, changed but still there. Yet doubt lingers, can she forgive? And what about the threatening message? As they embrace tentatively, another cliffhanger hits, Ahmed's phone rings, an unknown caller. He answers, face paling. They're coming for me, the old debts. They know I'm alive. Who are they? And will this reunion be cut short by danger from the past? Elena stays in Lahore for days, the story deepening. She calls Aisha daily, sharing bits but holding back the full truth to protect her. Back home, Aisha faces her own challenges, school pressures, a budding crush that ends in heartbreak when the boy mocks her family situation. Elena's absence strains their bond, Aisha feels abandoned anew. Meanwhile, in Lahore, Elena and Ahmed rebuild tentatively. They walk the streets, sharing laughs over street food, tears over lost time. Ahmed reveals more, he's been sketching again, dreaming of a small engineering firm. Elena opens up about her struggles, the illness that nearly took her last year, a lung infection from years of dust in her sewing room, forcing her to sell heirlooms for treatment. "I thought I'd die without knowing why you left," she admits. Ahmed vows to make amends, but the threat looms. The key challenge peaks when the creditors track Ahmed down. One night, as Elena and he sit talking, a knock echoes, rough men at the door, demanding repayment with interest. "You thought you could hide, Reza? Or should I say Ahmed Khan?" A scuffle ensues. Ahmed fights them off, but gets injured, a gash on his arm. Elena calls the police, her voice steady despite the fear. The men flee, but warn of more to come. In the aftermath, bandaging his wound, Elena confronts her deepest fear. "If we do this, reunite, will it destroy Aisha? She's finally stable." Ahmed's eyes well up. "I won't let that happen. I'll protect you both, no matter what." Resolution begins with courage. Ahmed, with Elena's help, gathers evidence from his past, old documents proving the debt was coerced. They hire a cheap lawyer from a local NGO, fighting back legally. It's a battle, court dates, tense waits, Elena shuttling between cities. Financially, it's draining. Elena pawns the locket temporarily, her heart breaking. But emotionally, bonds strengthen. Aisha, sensing something, demands the truth during a video call. Elena brings her to Lahore. The reunion is electric. Aisha, wide-eyed, hugs her father tentatively. "You're really him? The one Mama searched for?" Ahmed nods, voice choked. "I am, and I'm so sorry." Tears flow, they share stories, Aisha showing her medical books, Ahmed praising her dreams. Challenges arise, Aisha's anger flares. "You missed my birthdays, my first steps." But over time, forgiveness blooms through small acts, Ahmed helping with homework, Elena teaching him to cook family recipes. Subplots weave in for depth. Elena faces community backlash back home, gossip about the returning ghost husband. Her old friends question her choices, but she stands firm, relatable in her resilience. Aisha deals with school reconciliation, standing up to bullies with her parents' support. Ahmed confronts his own demons, attending a support group for lost souls, sharing his story. The pace builds steadily, slow emotional dialogues in quiet moments, faster tension during the debt chase. Another cliffhanger surges midway through their fight. During a court hearing, a witness testifies that Ahmed wasn't just a victim, he might have known the shady dealings. He signed the papers. Betrayal? Or a setup? Elena doubts, her trust tested. Heart pounding, she demands answers. Ahmed swears innocence, revealing a hidden journal proving his coercion. The judge rules in their favor, debts forgiven as fraud. Relief washes over them, but not without scars. Elena's faith in love wavers, then rebuilds stronger. Months pass. They move back to Rahim Yarkhan together, turning Elena's sewing room into a small family workshop. Ahmed starts an engineering side hustle, fixing locals' gadgets, while Aisha excels in school, accepted to a pre-med program. Elena's business thrives with Ahmed's marketing ideas. Challenges resolve, financial stability returns through community support, a fundraiser organized by Aisha's friends. Loneliness fades into shared joy, family dinners, Monsoon walks hand in hand. Emotional depth peaks in quiet scenes, Elena and Ahmed renewing vows in a simple ceremony, Aisha as witness. "We searched for each other," Elena says, "and found our way home. And now, we circle back to that rainy night reunion we started with." But this time, with the full story, the embrace isn't shattered. The "they" from the past? Just echoes, resolved in court. As Elena holds Ahmed, Aisha joining, the rain outside symbolizes washed away pain. It's inspiring, no matter how long the search, love finds a way. Kindness in the storm can lead to miracles. Family isn't perfect, but it's worth every tear. If this story touched your heart, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more emotional tales like this. You won't want to miss the next one. Subscribe and press bell icon.